number 4, I've got, I mean, you probably already know who she is, but Miss Trish Bertuzzi from the Bridge Group, right? At Bridge Group on Twitter.
At Bridge Group?
Okay.
No, Bridge Group Inc.
Bridge Group Inc. Okay,
yeah,
so
tricked me.
Follow her right now. So I have to get your feedback so far. You go to a lot of conferences.
I do.
You speak at a lot of conferences.
I do.
And you spoke here, right? You did a little session.
I did.
And
I danced.
And she danced.
I danced.
So
look for that.
Yeah, look for the dance. So I want to get your feedback on Sales Machine and the speakers that are here. What has the content been like, and is this something that you would come back to and recommend to all your friends?
Where else would you get to listen to these level of speakers? You might go to a conference and get to hear Gary Vee.
Yeah.
You might go to a conference and get to hear Ariana. But where could you hear Seth, Ariana, Gary, Simon, Billy? I mean, it's almost ridiculous.
It was like, so when Gabe got here, we walked out and Gabe goes, where and when will you ever hear Seth Godin and then Simon Sinek go up back to back?
Back to back. Talk about Goosebump City.
Yes.
For like an hour and a half. Like head spinning. Am I thinking big enough? Am I being creative enough? Am I using all the tools at my disposal? Am I thinking tactically? I mean,
so here's a question I have for you. So, in sales, there's thought leadership, and there's a lot of sales reps now trying to build like a personal brand, right? Become a trusted advisor.
Yes.
If you were in sales, what are the 3 tips you would give to salespeople to become that, right? To become the trusted advisor. Now, when I say that is, you watch Simon Sinek, right?
Yep.
And you watch Seth Godin.
Yep.
What are the 3 things that they're doing that have got them to that level that put goosebumps on Trish Bertuzzi's arm? Because it's not easy to do that, right?
It's not. All right, so here's the 3 things. Number 1, they learned their craft. And they view their work as a craft and as a body of work. So when I say earn, they read, they network, they learn, they study. You can't just show up every day and think you're going to be a hero, right? Especially in sales. So they invest the time in learning their craft. That's one thing I would say. To become a trusted advisor, it's not a coat you put on and take off. So I think you have to know as much about your buyer's industry, almost as they do. What conferences are they going to? What books are they reading? What challenges are they facing? Immersion. Immersion in your buyers, a day in your life of your buyer, I think is another critical success factor. And then finally, I thought Colleen Stanley's presentation,
that was really good.
Awesome, on emotional intelligence and empathy and selling. I mean, I was sitting there listening to her saying, I am horrible at empathy. I am horrible. I just go for it, and I have so much.
But you have empathy in an authentic way. I mean, you're a little bit more, probably harsh in your communication as far as blunt goes. But like, you're pretty. I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, you're still an empathetic person. Nobody's gotten to where you are without empathy playing a huge role.
Yeah, but I think I have a long way to go. And I think what I didn't think about, I always viewed empathy as being a personal trait, and where it turned me around was thinking about it as a professional trait. And I think that's what I learned from that particular presentation was how do I bring that part of my personality into my selling? And that's what makes a trusted advisor.
So one thing Colin Stanley talked about that was really, really cool was, defining, I can't remember the terminology she used. She used like a metaphor, but figuring out what your role is, right? And then setting a schedule, right? She talked about, like, she knows she's in charge of prospecting, right? So she has to set time aside for that.
Yep.
She knows that she's in charge of writing books or the content. So in her organization, it sounds like she's kind of had that role, right? I think you play that role at the Bridge Group.
I do.
Right? I don't think truly that you do this for any self, me, or anything like that. I truly believe that you are doing this as a lead generation, right? You're kind of the forefront of Bridge Group, right? You have a lot of value to give, and you put yourself out there, and who gets that reward is the Bridge Group.
The Bridge Group gets the reward, but I will tell you that I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've always been focused on the community. Like my Inside Sales group on LinkedIn, it's 58,000 members. That's a community I built.
What is it?
It's the Inside Sales Experts group on LinkedIn.
Perfect. So join that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so here's a something that I took away from Simon Sinek and Seth Godin, because I know that they're marketers, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of people will say, well, they're marketers, they don't know anything about sales. But essentially, they both scale with companies, right? But what they really, really have that I think that most salespeople should take away from it is the simple fact about doing the right thing and creating a movement, right? And I think that salespeople have the biggest opportunity right now with social media to create their own movement with their buyer, right?
I agree.
You can inspire your buyer, you can educate your buyer, you can be visible to your buyer, you can be connected to your buyer before they even know they're ready to buy or they're gonna buy from you.
But I think you're one of the few people that figured that out early on, right? So I think the way you interact with your audience, I watch you and I learn a lot from you. And you've actually given me some hints that I've embraced, and I appreciate that, because it's a different way of thinking about engagement. Mm-hmm. It's a different way. How many people, and I know you do this, and I'm trying to do it too because I'm trying to mimic you, when you say to your buyer, how can I help you?
Yeah.
How can I help you be successful? What are your goals? And they have nothing to do with what I do for a living. So I learned that from you, and it's something I'm starting to embrace.
Well, it's value versus ask, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think that, my colleague here, Nate, he's behind the camera, so props to you, Nate. We talked about this.
Hi, Nate.
The customers that we brought on, a lot of these people are people that I've done work for a year or two behind the scenes for free.
I know.
Right? And then all of a sudden, I started my own company, and then it just so happens that they become a paying customer, right?
Yeah.
So all that time on the front end, I remember my wife would say, "Why are you doing this for that person or that?" And I just look at my wife and I'm like, "Listen, this is nothing in it right now, but trust me on the vision of this." And Simon talked about that. If you want people to do something for you, whether it's buy your product or help you get to a buyer or something like that, what have you done for them proactively so that when you have to do something reactively, that they're actually going to want to do it, right? You're good at that. I mean, you're
well,
really good at that.
Once again, I think it's all about, I have a passion for the community,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but I think, he did make me stop and think though, everybody wants to help other people, but they want to be asked to help.
Yep.
And what he was saying is, don't wait to be asked to help. Do it proactively. And I think that was a really thought-provoking moment for me was, who can I go to that I can partner with that we can help each other?
Yep. And I think it's motive, right? When you truly, genuinely wake up every single day and you love what you do, if you're in sales especially, you can't spend your whole time selling. Because if you're spending your whole time selling, which I think most organizations try to groom the salespeople to do, right? And it's all built around their KPIs, right?
Yep.
There's this whole idea that I will tell you that if you're new to sales, especially new, you've got to do the selling part. You've got to do the cold calls once in a while. You've got to do some of the stuff that's, not so beautiful. But the rest of the time, you should be looking for ways to proactively get other people new business or help them along the way to get new business without them even knowing that you're trying to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a prime example. Sometimes I do some social listening on Twitter, right?
Yep.
And I listen for people that are looking for technologies or products. And what I will do is I'll actually find that and I'll go look for somebody that has the product that would fix that person's problem. And I will warm lead them on Twitter or LinkedIn to an executive at another company that knows nothing about me. And I'll say, hey, by the way, you guys look like a great fit for this person that just asked about this.
Yep.
Who else is doing it? That's the way that Simon Sinek and Seth Godin are telling you to think.
Yep.
Give people something before they even know who you are, or that, and do it with a motive of just loving what you do and loving to see other people grow, because it's a factor that will happen.
So there's a theme here, right? There's a theme we're talking about, and everything that you and I learned from this conference, and it's bringing the human back.
Yes.
We're bringing the human back into selling. Empathy, caring, community, being proactive, give to get.
I know that's a scary term, right? Patience, but
I'm telling you, it's coming back, and I think we're all going to be the better for it.
I love it. Well, I'm telling you right now, this woman is amazing. You've got to follow her. She's got tons of content, tons of value, and honestly, on a personal level, she's an amazing woman. So,
Thank you.
So follow her at Bridge Group Inc. And we'll be back with some more great peeps like her. Thank you.